People of Reddit, instead of missed hints, what hint? Did you catch that got you laid? I was playing Halo with a bunch of people in my dorm. And this one otherwise polite girl kept humping my corpse. We're married now. The bank teller left her number on my cash envelope. I love online banking and mobile check deposit. But they've never gotten me laid. She saw your balance. Chaining up bike at restaurant. Chatty woman said. Good for you for biking today. We enter restaurant at the same time and the hostess asks. Table for two? Woman turns to me. I don't know. Will you be joining me? A few years ago. I had a girl and a few friends over for a movie. None of my friends came. But she did. I gave her a beer. She asked if I was having one. But I told her that my driving license is on probation. I need to have a blood alcohol level of 0. Even one drink would make me go over. And I wouldn't be able to drive her home afterwards. She grabs a beer, opens it and hands it to me. I took a friend of mine as a date to a wedding. At some point, I made an off-the-cuff remark about how we should play strip poker. She said, "That's not fair. You have more clothes on than me." After I take off my dress, I'd be naked. We didn't stay at the wedding long after that. My level of cluelessness is legendary. But on a first date before we had even ordered dinner, I did have a girl once say, "You can relax, by the way. I'm totally sleeping with you tonight." That was a hint I didn't miss. But with my track record, it was touch and go. When I lost my virginity I was really stoned. Me and this girl were hanging out for a while. We started making out. She got completely naked. I was just like, oh, that's cool. It didn't occur to me that we were going to have sex until she started fingering herself on my couch and said, "You should probably take off your boxers." I was one clueless kid. That sounds similar to my first time. We were hanging out at my friend's house and smoked a joint. She said, "I think it's time for Bill to leave." Bye, Bill. But it's Bill's house. I said confusedly. Why should he leave? Bill was much quicker than I think you're about to find out. Dude. And I found out. I missed her first hint. But when I asked her, "When are you leaving?" and she said, "I'm leaving with you." Message was received and it was a Tuesday. And it was a Tuesday. Was hanging out with a girl one afternoon in college when we both started talking about how it had been so long since each of us had sex. We went to a party that night with an agreement that we wouldn't go home alone no matter what. Halfway through the party, consisting of mostly people we knew pretty well, I ask her if she's found anyone. She says no. And asks me. I say no. And liquid courage compels me to say, "Well, how about we go home together?" She says sure. 4.5 years later, she's still my girlfriend and I moved to Europe to attend grad school at the same university as her. I'd call that a win. First date with a woman off a Cupid. She just asked, "Wanna come over?" Some guys have all the luck. When he casually mentioned he had no work in the morning. Green light. We were with mutual friends at a hotel and everyone was drinking. About to go to the bar with my buddies when we walk by the pool. Drunk hot chick is in the pool saying, "Somebody come swim with me." Nobody wanted to swim, but I thought this might be a sign. Skipped bar. Went swimming. Had naked water time. Smashed. Been married 16 years now. Glad I caught the subtle clue. I host a pub trivia night here in town and my current girlfriend was a regular competitor. I saw her out one night at a different bar celebrating a friend's birthday. We recognized each other and chatted a bit. Then she hit me with this. "Huh? So I've got a trivia question for you. But if you get it wrong you have to buy me a drink." Me. "I'll give it a shot. I'm pretty smart." "Huh? If you're actually smart, you'll get it wrong." Edit. To all my fellow trivia nerds wondering what the question was, what US state and respective capital share none of the same letters in their names? The correct answer is Pierre. SD. I legitimately didn't know the answer. So I didn't even have to throw the question. 3 years ago. We were in a bar with some friends and she said let's go somewhere else more fun. And then I said I don't know. The last bus to get back home is in 30 minutes and I don't want to pay for a cab, and she responded you can sleep at my place after. I got laid and she's still my girlfriend. I was at her house watching TV. She went to her bedroom and came out wearing a robe and panties. She then asked how much of a hint I needed. Pretty big one. Apparently. I emailed to ask my language exchange partner over for dinner and suggested we could work on vocabulary. We can do things in a kitchen. She replied. Yes. And things in a living room. And things in a bedroom too. That's like passing the old Fallout speech checks you didn't know existed. Went to a Ren fair. There was a cute girl running a fortune teller booth who offered to tell me her vision of my future. She flipped over my hand, looked me in the eye and said I see you getting laid tonight. She was correct. A girl at the table asked her friend why are you so happy? The other girl said because I'm getting laid tonight. She was telling me how she hadn't had sex in months. I said are you trying to change that? And I got laid. In high school gym class. It was raining so we were running laps around the gym. Cute girl is running next to me and we are sort of chatting a bit. Her friends run up behind her and begin chanting, girl's name is a virgin. Girl's name is a virgin. Full stop. She gets mad and yells back I'm working on it. Even I picked up on that. That's how he lost his job as a gym teacher. She started with I had a naughty dream about you last night. Yeah. This has happened to me as well. Followed up with. It was so gross and weird. Means she wants it. Right? Was giving her a backup while we were watching a movie. I went to the kitchen to grab something. Maybe a drink I don't remember, and when I came back she had her top off. I ignored it for a few minutes. Until she started pushing her chest out towards me. Things escalated pretty fast from there. All this happened after about 3 weeks of missed hints. I'm not the best at picking up on them. Dude, how the duck do you ignore that? My wife's hint that would be pretty subtle, but she does it so often that it's not anymore at all. We're both laying in bed watching TV and she'll stretch her leg out and set it on mine so we cross ankles. That's it and I know it's go time. It's actually more of a joke by now. Was in a bar on downtown Florence on leave. When I was drinking I noticed these two girls next to me alone. Started chatting them up and noticed they had an Aussie accent. So me being halfway in the bag put on my best Aussie accent and asked so how is it down under? One of the girls replied buy me a drink and find out. It was nice. I mentioned my collection of around 1200 CDs and she, not really into music, said she'd love to come and see it. There was no way in hell she could be interested in my CDs. And she wasn't. The other thing that surprised me that night. Lying in bed after the facts. Her alarm goes off at 3 AM. She slams it and says I gotta go. I have to lead a WoW raid in an hour. She was also one of the brightest people I've ever met. And quite SI too. Great girl. Wish her the best. My GF. The first time we did it. It was her birthday. I asked her what she wanted. And she said she wanted a foot rub. She said I would have a pretty nice view. And asked what color panties I preferred. My GF is not subtle. None. It wasn't a very subtle hint. Was talking to a gal at a bar. She said, I have a pierced clit. I said, let's go take a look at that. Banged in the parking lot. Late night pool party. Most people were nude at this point. Girl swims up to me. Oh shit, there's my ex. Cover me. Backs her ass into my crotch and puts my hands over her tits. I was home from college and hanging out on my front porch with a girl I'd just met. She was talking about how it's weird that some people sit around all day and don't even go on walks, let alone exercise, then complain about being out of shape. Then somehow that led her into saying take us for example. We're both active people in good shape. And we might end up ducking. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what else was said after that. But I took the not so subtle hint. And I took it again when she showed up at my college at around midnight looking for a place to crash. She took her shirt off. I picked up on that clue because of the times I lay awake having missed the she took her pants off clue a while before that with someone else. Funny thing is, taking her shirt off wasn't a hint. She was wearing a sweater that pulled the shirt up with it by mistake. Was embarrassed and hid in the sweater for a moment while taking it off. I thought it was a hint and helped her finish removing both. She thought I was smooth as hell. I thought I was so clued in for finally catching the disrobing hint. When her hint is so subtle even she doesn't catch it. Wanna bang? I asked a girl at the beach if she wanted her picture taken with her friends. She politely refused and I backed off. But I overheard her loud-mouthed friend exclaim, he's totally hitting on you, go and get him to take a picture of us. Good thing she said that. Because I would have never thought I was in her league otherwise. That's a good friend. I was in a hostel and a bunch of us had just got in from the bar. I said I was going to bed and she said wanna snuggle? I ducked her on a bathroom sink. My wife on our very first date as I was trying to get the projector set up so we could watch a movie. Well, if you can't get it working, I guess we will have to entertain ourselves in some other way. Stares blankly. Fixes projector. One of my favorite things I have ever heard on a first date. Just because I am inviting you back to my house doesn't mean we will have sex. Okay, sure. Maybe it didn't inherently mean that. But it is exactly what happened. We also both skipped work the next day and hung out. 11 years later we are both still friends, but never did have a real relationship. I always tell guys I don't have sex on the first date. That way they know I'm a liar and a SLT. She said when my daughter falls asleep, your mother-in-law is way more interesting than mine. She said want to come over and watch this new show called It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? Full stop. I said yes. We didn't watch the show until the next day. We're married now. We're married now. Because of the implication? I made up the guest bed. Before I turned around I heard her say you've got to be ducking kidding me. Right? Full stop. Turned around. She was completely naked. She was a very nice lady. She came up to me at the dance floor at a party and asked me, "What are you doing later?" "Nothing much." "Why?" "Wanna do me?" I did. I did good. My situation would probably look like this. "Wanna do me?" "What? Wanna do me?" "I can't hear you. The music is too loud." It was an older woman trying to set me up with her daughter and was going on and on how cute I was. I told her I was more interested in her. Was at her place about an hour later. Got out of work at the normal time and went to the same bar me and my friends meet up every Friday. Except this Friday none of my friends showed up and it was rather slow for the typical happy hour crowd. I asked the bartender Jamie where everyone is and he pretty much shrugged me off. Random girl at the bar says but I'm here. Bartender goes there is your new friend. I responded with buying my new friend a drink. Worked like a charm. When they make eye contact and start laughing at my dumb TTY jokes. Game on. I told a friend I could solve a Rubik's Cube. She said I would be all over you if you did that. Went round with Rubik's Cube. Solved it. Got laid, carried on getting laid for a couple of months afterwards as well. TBH I still think I missed a hint. Could probably have gone round without a cube and just hit on her. Did you have to solve the cube every time or? Girl came to one of my birthday parties in her own car. When it came time to leave the starting location and go to the bar, she said she wanted to ride with me to give me my present. Roadhead ensued. Edit. For those asking why I drove myself. It was convenience. I wasn't a big drinker at the time so nobody was in danger, except maybe my wang. I had a long-term girlfriend through most of high school. But she broke things off early my freshman year of college. Not long after that, I met up with a female friend from high school whom I had always found attractive but, due to having a girlfriend, had never really been interested in. We caught up over dinner and then afterwards I suggested we continue hanging out and watch a movie. I had no ulterior motives and hadn't even thought about the possibility of anything happening. But when I said that, she laughed kind of knowingly. And somehow I just knew that she thought I was trying to have sex with her. But she agreed to my plan. So I figured, if she thinks I'm trying to have sex with her, and she's going along with it, I may as well try and have sex with her. So I did. She was into it and we had a good time. At a beach bar in Greece. Dancing with a girl. She pulls me close and says, "Do you want to duck on the roof?" Yes. Yes, I do. After a date. Went to my room and sat talking for a bit. First date in a while, so I didn't know if I should make a move. She pushed me back, straddled and kissed me. I finally took a hint. Seems a bit too early to tell. Went on a date. We were looking at the dessert menu at a restaurant, TGI Fridays, and we didn't see anything we wanted. So she suggested we pick up something from the store on the way home. When we pulled into the parking lot, she was driving. She said, "Here. Go get some chocolate sauce." I looked at her confused for a brief moment. And she kept this totally straight-faced, subtle smile. As if she was waiting for the light bulb to go off. And when it did, I ran into the store and grabbed some Hershey's chocolate sauce. Dessert was really good. I couldn't find the chocolate sauce, so I got Dijon mustard instead. Was at a festival. She wanted to go back to her tent and insisted I'd join her. I went with her. Got laid. She asked if I wanted to have some sex tonight. Got laid. This guy consents. When I was 16, I was talking with a good female friend about a new double bed I just got, and she was complaining about never having slept in a double bed before. Being the gentleman I am, I offered her to come and try mine. I lost my virginity that Friday. Still friends with this girl now, and she even gave me a blowjob at a festival on a separate occasion. Good memories. She complained to me that her ex-boyfriend never wanted to have sex with her and how she missed having sex. I remember her saying, "Why do you think he didn't want to have sex with me?" And I said something like, "I can't think of a single reason any guy wouldn't want you." I got her RAII that night. I was in a foreign country with our friend group drinking whiskey, and she was leaning on me, running a finger underneath my waistband. DJ at a bar dedicated a song to me that was a blatant hint. Offered her a ride home that night. Yada yada. IT was nice. Just like a Redditor to bring up IT when you're about to get laid. I did some research over the summer in Missouri when I was an undergrad. Met a woman one afternoon and talked for like an hour about my research. I studied mathematics, so not many people could listen to me talk about what I was passionate about for very long. After about 30 minutes in, I finally figured out that she was probably just pretending to like what I saying because she was into me. Told her we should continue this conversation over a walk. Took about 30 minutes to walk back to my apartment. Invited her in. Conversation didn't last much longer. That was a good day. TL. DR. If some random person seems genuinely interested in a topic that 999% of people actively hate talking about. Lady friend and I were hanging out one night. And very intoxicated. Thankfully my brain pulled out of blackout mode long enough to remember clips of the night. Discussion about her boobs. She's got phenomenal boobs. I asked to see them. She gives that look and just asks. No pictures. Right? Next clip is she's topless. In front of me, and I think I asked her if she minded if I squeezed them. Next clip. I'm sucking on those titties. Then she's naked. Laying on my couch and we're talking about a tattoo I didn't realize she had. And her bald PSSY. Then we're making out. Then she says she's on her period and suggests a shower. Then we're ducking in the shower. The alcohol wasn't helping my situation. So a lot of shower head. Then I'm puking in the sink. I feel like drunk shower sex is just an attempted suicide pact. I had just left the bar my friend worked at. My bartender friend texted me. Didn't want you to leave. I had just gotten on the freeway, but decided to dump off on the next exit and double back. Walked back into the bar 10 minutes later. We had bathroom SX3X that night. Traveling around. Stayed at a youth hostel. A bunch of us went to a bar to drink and sing and dance. There were about 8 guys and one gorgeous girl who all of us were flirting with. After a while, we walk back to the hostel. Hey, how about we hang out in the shared area? I went to sit on a chair. She rushed over to share it with me. Big smile. Arm around the shoulders. The other guys all scattered like roaches when the light comes on. Seeing she'd made her choice. So we did the do there. On the floor. And in the showers. Way to end vacation with a bang. She asked me to take her out for ice cream. In New England. In January. It was the first time I was hanging out with a girl. Her friend was around for a while and said if you leave marks on her I'll get mad. I was confused. Did she think I was abusive? Do you mean SX marks? The girl in question said but I like SX marks. And looked right at me. I smashed real good. We were with a group of friends and we all made plans to go to a bar one night and a 20-year-old tagged along. She wasn't able to enter the bar so she just chilled on campus for a while and she asked just me, not the others, to make sure I come back for her. I had never read an entire Reddit thread. Until now. Just had dinner at her place. Felt like things were leading to the friend zone. Then she asked, do you have to go watch Game of Thrones with your friends tonight? I missed Game of Thrones that night and avoided spoilers for the next 24 hours. Huh? So when are you going to ask me to go on a date? Me. How about we discuss that over dinner? What hints? The ones you can read on the loading screens. Kinda liked it more when you all didn't get laid. I was waiting in line in a store and I got a call on my cell phone from someone who misdialed. Almost as soon as I was done saying you've got the wrong number and hung up. The very attractive girl in front of me, who made zero hint she even noticed me, turns around and asks if I asked you for your number would you give me the right one? That evening she answered the door in lingerie. Extremely obvious hints. Women. Please take note. We are not subtle creatures. I would miss like 75% of the hints in this thread. We were on her couch and watching TV and it was like 2 AM and I said I needed to leave because I had class at 8 the next morning. She said, oh without any? I was confused for a second. Without any what? She just stared at me. Ooh. Well I certainly have time for that. 8 years. 2 kids later there is never any.